Hi, dear friends. Welcome to the Renaissance Redhead. I'm Randy Leave, and I wanted to do a little video tonight about celebrating the holiday season with joy and ease. Here, where I live in the States, tomorrow is Thanksgiving, and it's one of our most beloved holidays, one of my favorites. And then, of course, we're moving into Christmas and New Year's, and it can be a really magical, wonderful time of year. But it can also be fraught with stress and overwhelm and exhaustion and a lot of disappointment because we often go into it with expectations or an agenda of it being like our childhood holidays or some version in the movies. And often it doesn't go that way. And so I wanted to share some of my favorite tools and techniques that I use to navigate the holiday season more fluidly. So the first one is the importance of connecting with the essence of how you really want to feel. So often, myself included, we think that accomplishing something or having an experience or getting everything crossed off our to-do list is going to give us a certain feeling. And oftentimes that's not how it goes. And because our lives are created from the inside out, a far more delicious way to do this is to just take, it doesn't have to be this long, drawn out process, just take a few minutes to connect with something that you are trying to do or hope to experience this holiday season, and how do you think that will make you feel, or how would you like to feel? Whether it's hosting the perfect party or creating a fantastic meal or getting the most wonderful presents for someone, or connecting with your loved ones, or having some magical, fun, adventurous experience outside in the winter. Take a moment to get in touch with your heart. What is your heart craving? What do you really want to feel? Whether it's a sense of connection, love, fun, fulfillment, whatever that is, to connect with that. And then as you go throughout the season, as you go throughout your day, when you see all the things that are on your to-do list or that you think others want you to do, whether it's something that you think you have to do, or even family expectations, like you feel like you have to go to this family member's party or you have to go to this event, feel into your heart for just a moment and ask, what will feed me and what will contribute the most to me feeling the way that I want to feel? And then let the answers from your heart decide where you go, what you do, and see what happens. Now, a lot of times that can create some disruption if we are used to people pleasing or doing things because we think we should. Well, I should go to this relatives gathering, when really our heart says, that feels really toxic and let's go do something else. But if you can be willing to let go of not only other people's judgments, but your own, you'll find that you can oftentimes let go of 80% of your to-do list or other people's expectations of you and receive 100% of how you really want to feel. And I think that's a pretty good equation if you think about it. One of the other things that I do that I find so helpful is getting your energy back inside your body. Now, this can sound a little strange, but so often we are going at such a space, at such a pace that we get our energy pulled out, we get our energy fractured. And so a practice that I have is I just take a moment, and you can do this quite quickly. And I picture my energy almost like a translucent version of myself right out in front of me, almost like you would see like in a movie where there's a ghost, the ghost can move through a body. And I just pull that body, that version, that energetic version of myself back into my body. And if you're energetically sensitive like I am, you can feel that. Like when I do that, I actually get kind of tingles like that. So I'm actually pulling my energy back inside myself. And I use this all throughout different times, but especially it can be so grounding to use it before you go into a dinner party or a family gathering, or even before you go into a store to do shopping or something, just to get centered back in yourself, get your energy back in yourself. Another thing that I do is some EFT, which is emotional freedom technique, or it's also called tapping. If you don't know about tapping, it's something that I really love. I use it in a different way than a lot of people teach it. And I will have a video in the future where I expand more about tapping, but it just to a very simple degree. What it does is it helps to calm down the nervous system. And the way I use it is as a way to communicate to my inner self that it's safe to be in my body, and as a way to tell my body that it's safe to feel whatever I'm feeling or whatever I'm experiencing. And so it's just using light tapping on meridian points in the body. And there's, again, like I said, various ways to do this, but just to give a simplified version, I will sometimes just tap the collarbone point, which is just below, a couple inches below the collarbone. And I'll just use a couple fingers, or you can use your palm and just lightly tap. And you can say something if this can be really helpful, especially if you're really triggered, like just excuse yourself, go into the bathroom or be out in your car for a minute and go, oh, I am feeling so angry right now and I just can't stand this person and I want to kill everyone. Like, swamp it out. Let yourself actually feel and say whatever you're actually feeling. No one else has to hear this. And just tap and breathe. Or you can also say something that is something that very nurturing that you feel you need to hear in that moment. It can be, oh, sweetheart, I know this is so stressful, or it's not going the way you want, or you're so tired. I see you, I hear you, I love you, I'm here. But often I will use just the breath with it. Just tapping one point, maybe the collarbone or maybe the side of the eye. You can do this even when you're sitting in traffic. And I'll just breathe. And a specific type of breath that I find so effective, I actually came across this by accident. When I noticed, I started having the awareness that my body was doing this on its own when I would get really fired up. I had the conscious awareness that I would breathe in through my nose, and then I would exhale with my lips kind of pursed and a long exhale. And that was before I started studying breath work. And then as I got into studying breath work, I discovered that particular kind of breath actually is very soothing to the nervous system, and it is a way that the body releases stress and regulates back into the parasympathetic nervous system. So my body knew what it was doing, even if I didn't consciously at the time. But it's just to breathe in through the nose and then out through the mouth with kind of pursed lips, a long exhale. So and I will often just tap one point, just tap the collarbone point or side of the eye while I'm doing that breath. So it's like this. And just to do 3 or 5 or 10 breaths like that is so effective, and it is so soothing, and it really helps you get out of your head, helps you get out of that fight or flight triggered stress state. So that is one of my favorite tools as well, and I encourage you to try that one. I also wanted to mention that because this is a big time for being around family, being around friends, maybe being around people that you don't see all that often and quite possibly don't really like that much, but out of family obligations or whatever, you're around people that trigger you. And I wanted to just speak briefly about that because there's a lot out there in the spiritual self-help world about triggers, that they're always a gift to us, that they're always reflective of something within ourselves. And I agree with that, except for the word always. So I just wanted to encourage you about that because I think triggers can be an amazing gift to show us where we're holding something that our energy system, our heart, our body is ready to release. But they're not always a gift, and they're not always a mirror. Sometimes they're just a sign that, ooh, this situation's not good for us. Let's move along. And let that be okay. Don't let owning your triggers turn into some sort of expedition hunt where you have to figure out every little thing of why this person triggered you and how is it about you and you're somehow attracting it or mirroring it. Just especially this holiday season, when these tips that I'm sharing are meant to be simple and easy and things that you can use very quickly and not more things to add to your to-do list, let even the awareness and the owning of your triggers be easy. And be incredibly gentle and generous with yourself. So when you do feel yourself triggered, don't go into some long drawn-out process of how you have to figure out why you're being triggered and got to do this elaborate 2-hour meditation and breath work release. Just put your hand on your collarbone point and tap, or put your hands on your heart. Take a few deep breaths and just go, I acknowledge that this is affecting me, that this doesn't feel good. And sometimes I'll even say to myself, because we can be triggered by things that we don't even know about, that could even be from epigenetics, from lineages way back. So I'll sometimes say to my body, everything that, whatever of this is not ours, it's okay to let that go. And anything that's present here that is mine, I'm willing to be with fully. And that in itself can just let 90% of whatever that trigger was go, and give you much more clarity about, okay, here's what I need to be with. Just take some breaths, just bring loving awareness to it. That's really all you need to do. And so I hope that those few little tools will help you in navigating this holiday season with more joy and ease, and let it be a wonderfully magical time. And as a recovering perfectionist myself, I feel like I know what I'm talking about, that I'm definitely speaking from the trenches and not from a pulpit. And these are things that I use every day. In fact, even today, I had about 10 things still on my to-do list that I thought I would be doing tonight to get ready for the holiday tomorrow. And as I used that practice that I mentioned earlier of asking myself, what will feed and nurture me, what will contribute to me feeling the way that I really want to feel. And I realized that actually working on my writing and creating this video is what felt really juicy and delicious to me. And so I let myself choose that and trust that even if tomorrow things aren't quite as pristine or perfect as I may have intended, that is not what will give me the feeling. Listening to my heart, being willing to choose my joy and ease is what will give me that feeling. And so I hope that that's a blessing to you and that assists you in enjoying your holidays even more. If you would like to receive more inspirational videos like this one, be sure to click the subscribe button below and the bell icon to receive notifications. And before I go, I have an exciting announcement. I have just released the first episode of the Renaissance Redhead podcast on Anchor, and I'm very excited about that. That will be another space for me to share about my passions, my interests, about my journey, all things that contribute to a well-lived life. So if you are on my email list, you will receive an email this week with this video and a link to the first podcast episode. If you would like to be on that email list, you can sign up on the homepage of my blog, which is therenaissanceredhead.com. At the very top, there's a place you can sign up, put your email in. Do keep an eye on your inbox because you do need to click on the subscribe link in the confirmation email that you will get first in order to get on the list. And then as soon as you do that, you will be taken to a link right away where you can download a free mini ebook that I wrote called The 7 Essentials for a Well-Lived Life. So definitely check that out if that speaks to you. And to all of you here in the US, I wish you a very happy Thanksgiving. Until next time, this is Randy Lee from therenaissanceredhead.com reminding you that you deserve a well-lived life.